We've noticed a change in this, haven't we?
What's important, I think, for us to really look at is consumer behavior.
That's how we react as humans. We want it fast, we want it now.
And if you're still using the same marketing tactics, the same messaging, the same approach to that consumer from 10 years ago, you're missing out.
The consumer out there is thinking, there might be a better alternative.
We've found the institutions, we've brought them together in one place. And all of a sudden, you're instantly going in with 6, 7 offers, telling the person who wants to sell their house that I have 6, 7 offers right now. Hello, welcome back. We are here once again with you for the Real Estate Consumer Shift. I am Jason Wells and my partner,
Tim Evans. Wellsy, what's going on? What are we going to talk about today, man?
Hey, you know what? I've been thinking I really need to take some time off and go to see some movies.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's. Let me ask you a question. This is a great topic. What is your all-time favorite movie?
My all-time favorite movie? That's a great question. You know, in law school, this is a kind of funny story. In law school, everybody's going through and they're telling like their favorite movies and books and whatever, right? They get to Jason, and mine was at the time Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. And Harry Potter. Yes, I'm in law school and I'm saying Napoleon Dynamite and Harry Potter, and I know every one of you that said that it was like Tolstoy, you're lying.
Napoleon Dynamite. I've watched that. I mean, and every time I watch it, I laugh.
Right.
It's been at least, you bring it up. How many times have you watched Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh, I've probably watched that, I don't know, 15, 20 times.
15, 20, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Gosh.
And so people ask yourself, have you ever watched a movie over 20 times? If you have, there's probably a problem, right?
Right, probably.
I was mentioning I watched The Fugitive. That show comes on. I don't care what else is on. When that comes on cable, I just turn it on. And I have watched that I think I've watched it now 49, 50 times. But here's the good and the bad thing about it. I know when I sit down and I have the TV in front of me, I'm comfortable. I'm watching it. I know how things are going to go. I'm in my happy space. I'm comfortable with the movie. I'm comfortable with all of it.
Does Harrison Ford ever die when he jumps off that big dam?
He never dies.
Does he ever get caught in the St. Patrick's Day parade?
No, so he slides Tommy Lee every time. Tommy Lee just can never catch up to him, but it's got a great ending, and it's always puts me in a happy spot. Mm-hmm. But people will ask me, like, Tim, have you ever watched this movie? And I caught myself doing this the other night. Fugitive comes on, I see it's sitting there, and then there's a movie just a couple of slots up that I've never watched, but I'm like, and I can't. And this is horrible. I can't remember the name, but I was processing. I was having it on the TV, right? You know how the movies are right there?
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah, I was like, I'm processing, like, I should, but there was unknown. It's like, it will be a flop, or I don't like it. I want to really have a nice night. So what I do, I click on The Fugitive for the 49th time, get the popcorn, just have a great time.
Right.
My wife says, I'm not watching this again. She went in the back bedroom and read a book. Jacob, that'll happen to you one day, let me tell you. Married 30 years, that's what happens. Yes, you're a newlywed.
But isn't that the truth? We are creatures of comfort. We are creatures of that, like you said, comfortability. We want that. It's almost like a comfort food to watch it. I could watch something else, but I'm really wanting to just chill out with my popcorn. I know it'll be a good time, even if it's the 49th, even on the 50th time. Next time when it's the 50th time, you're going to do it again. But what if your favorite show was the other one?
Yeah,
and you haven't watched yet.
And that's the scary thing. And I think where are we going with this, right?
That's a good question.
Where are we all going with this? Like, yeah, what are you guys talking about, right? But it is interesting. Where we're going with this is, as in business, any business, and it doesn't have to be real estate. It could be any business. If you're in retail, it doesn't matter. Lending, it doesn't matter. We get into some very comfortable situations with our work. Mm-hmm. And we get very process oriented. We manage our business, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Yep. Well, you think it's great. You think it's the best thing. Like, I've got this sorted out. I just do the same thing when I come in every day. As an agent, maybe as I come in and I process my paperwork, and I make a couple of phone calls, and then I go to lunch or whatever. But I do the same thing every day. That works to an extent. That will always work to an extent. And as things change, as consumers want something different, as consumers say, that way isn't the same way I want this experience. I had that experience before. I want this new experience. If we don't lean into the change and get uncomfortable, start having some uncomfortability, we're just setting ourselves up for a slow declining
death
phase.
It is. Yeah, it's a business death. It really is. And what's interesting is that the real growth and potential is in the risk, but that's outside of what everybody else does. It's outside of what the norms are.
Well, that's where innovation comes in, right? People get so excited about irritated about the disruptors that come into real estate. When there was the cash offers first started coming on the scene, it was Pandalarium, everything was going to fall apart. They were going to run us all out of town. And all the realtors were like, "No, get your pitchforks. We're going to go down. We'll kill the beast." Right.
Yeah.
It's like Beauty and the Beast kind of thing or something. Anyway, what happened though was the consumer was signaling a change, and we didn't lean into that change quick enough. We are now, but if we don't look to change the way we are doing things, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you keep on getting what you always got. And that can also mean a decline in your business. And I see that happening so often right now. Agents are out there and they're selling fewer units, but maybe their income hasn't changed that much because prices have gone up. What that just really means, Tim, is they're losing so slowly they think they're winning.
Yeah. And they don't realize that things are going on over in a different universe.
They're losing market share.
Yeah, so it's like it's around the corner from it's on the different street over there.
That's right.
And they're losing it, and it's going on right behind their backs, and it's transacting. And we've studied this. We know this, and they want to blame the conditions or the market, or sit around the coffee pot and say,
right,
"Oh, this is slow," or they'll sit there and say, "Oh, business is doing great," and in reality, they need a closing. Folks need a closing, right? They need some income coming in. That
completely.
That house payment, that car payment's still there. So here's the to-do in this segment is you have to press that other movie. You have to see what's out there. You have to explore. You have to get on the edge a little bit and look over and see what else is out there, right? Don't be scared to do something different. Right? When you agree that...
I absolutely agree. That doing something different doesn't mean you get rid of doing the things you've done.
No, absolutely not.
It's really more about adding something different. Keep doing what you've done and innovate. Add something new onto what you've been doing. So keep enjoying The Fugitive, but try something in the Marvel universe, my man.
See, that's an area I haven't gone. Yeah, I have to try that. Yeah, I have to try that out. But that's a paradigm. Like, I have to get my thinking. I have to get out of that comfort zone, right? Like that recliner and just sitting down and like, man, feeling good, and I know how this is going to end. Every time.
Yep.
But the thing that I will share with you is that Jason, you and I have been through a lot in developing our cash offer platform, a lot of trial and errors and, perfecting, and it's still, we work on it every day. So it's better and better every day. We didn't settle for what people would tell us, right?
Correct.
And say what we should be doing. We settled and listened to what the consumer was saying.
We had to turn our ear to a different place and say, okay, who actually runs the industry? It's really the consumer.
Yes.
And what is the consumer wanting? How are they responding? Because they're not. We could see it in our marketing. We could see it in our conversations. We could see it in our appointments that the consumer they were listening to something different. They were behaving differently. Our relationship was important. That I don't think that ever really changes. I think our relationship, and real estate stays relational, is just who can bring the options in that relation. Are you only the agent who says, we do it this way, this way, this way? I'm just this is the same commission I've always charged, and this is just what I'm going to charge, and these are the things I do, and that's just what I always do, and that's how it's done.
These are the standards I live by, right?
And there's been innovation happening. People have added Matterport, they've added drone and aerial, they've added video. All these things have been added on. These are the layering on of change that has happened. We need to now listen more to the consumer right now and say, okay, well, how do you want to transact your business? That is the question. As we as an agent body and industry really listen to the consumer and say, how do you want to transact, and then adapt our business to how they want to transact, those are the people who are going to win. And part of what we already know the consumer wants is that simplicity and convenience. And that's why we're finding the success with the cash offers. That's why we talk about the cash offers, not because every person should take the cash offer, but the consumer wants to see them. They want to understand them. They want someone who can explain it to them. That should be you. But you can't do that if you've never watched the Marvel movies, Tim.
I know I got to get away from all my favorites like Top Gun and
oh, well, that's not a bad one.
A Few Good Men. I mean,
Yes.
they just suck me in.
Yep.
And it's, it's just almost like every night, I see one and then I'm for the 49th, 50th time, I'm like, I'm in. But here's what I will say with like the cash offers and the convenience and the certainty. It's what the sellers talk about. I would love to have a blank piece of paper, Jason, and just envision this, and just drop when a husband and wife are talking about selling their home, right? And it just dropped from the ceiling down and say, write the perfect situation. Like this was a crystal ball sitting in front of you. Write it out. What would that be?
What would it look like to sell the house? You're talking about selling the house. Here's the paper. Fill it out.
Yeah.
What's that perfect situation look
Just
like?
whatever your desires, wants, and needs, and
How it goes.
Yeah, how it goes. Like you, and if you were to put that down, do you think they are thinking about that seller? And I'm just going to throw this out there, calling Tommy their favorite real estate agent.
I guarantee on that paper for their ideal situation is not call Tommy to list the house and put it on the market, schedule photos. I guarantee that's not on
Have
the
open
paper.
houses, get kicked out on a Sunday. Right? Do you think that's what they're? No, I don't think that's what they're processing. Right?
It's not.
They're
that might
thinking-
be what they end up doing. As we talked about the what's and whys in our last week podcast. That's another example of what they want looks a certain way. You need to though be able to be there to show them, hey, look, I've got the what. It may not be the best option for you, but I can deliver what you want. I can deliver this speed, certainty, and convenience for you. It comes at a price. And are you willing to pay the price? And we know the majority of times they're going to say, well, I really am not willing to pay the price. I will go with you as the agent because you're the knowledgeable one. I have the relationship with you, all that. But don't let them get caught in somebody else's web. Who will do
Boy,
that.
that is a good, yeah. That is a good, don't get caught in the web. Jacob, you had a good saying today. Our cash offer platform, it's like the hammer and nail, but the hammer is not going to beat the nail, right? You have to do something with it, right?
Yes.
You have to get it out there. That hammer isn't just going to pick itself up and beat that nail, right?
Nope.
So there's a little bit of work behind this. I really find it like if I was going to sell a home and write down the perfect scenario, I would have a price on there. I just envision that right now. I would have a price and I would say close in 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Give me a couple of days to stay in the home and get my stuff out of the home, right? That they're thinking like this. Allow some space for some moving.
That's right.
No hassle with the appraisal or anybody coming in or dealing with a buyer or an agent or lending issues. You know what I mean? I just want to know that I'm here and I can go here and I can go here and be done.
Yes.
And it's that simple and that easy. And I think that's important to process. And that's that movie that's sitting out there, right? And I'm watching The Fugitive right in front of me. But that's that movie.
You're
sitting
scrolling
out there.
past the movie that's like, try me out. I got it all.
Right. I need to watch the adventure. What are the movies?
The Marvels.
The Marvels. There you go. For you folks who watch the Marvels.
There's only about 28 of them.
Yeah, you know what he's talking about. I'm clueless. Hey, we've had some fun with this today, though. But I think this is a really good segment to understand that, right? It's our comfortability, and moving out of that, and what our paradigm thinking is, right? And that's what really gets in the way is shifting out of that.
Correct. And we saw this a little over 10 years ago. It was about 14 years ago when the market shifted with the crash.
Yes.
Okay. When the market crashed and there was foreclosures and short sales, that realtors who did not move out of their comfort zone to learn how to do a short sale or learn how to work with an asset manager and were able to acquire REO accounts or build a short sale business, they suffered greatly. Those who leaned into that change excelled. This is like that. What is the equivalent to them? I don't necessarily know yet. but I'm actively listening to the consumer for them to tell me, how do you want that traction to go? What does that paper look like, right? Imagine that. Now, if you start thinking about that out there, what does that paper look like? As you're saying that, Tim, I'm thinking, okay, well, mine's going to say price on there. It's going to say how quickly I want the convenience of my closing date. It's actually going to even have some things on there that going to be hard. I want someone to come pack up my house and move it. In an ideal
Think about
situation,
that one, yeah.
I don't want to do that, right? So you as the agent, do you have the relationship with a moving company that you can connect to make that happen?
Be a great offer, right?
It's an offer, exactly.
Yeah, great offer. Boy,
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't even think about packing them, but that would be the last thing I want to do, start
my
packing
gosh,
dishes
no.
and
When I
stuff.
walk through my garage, I'm like, I'm never moving.
He's one of those guys. Jason, I'll let you. Hey, we'll let you take us down. It's a great show today.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Remember, your what don't match your why, and get out of your comfort zone. Get some uncomfortability in your
Watch
life.
some new movies.
Check out some Marvels.
Marvels,
All right.
there you go. Hey, we'll see you
Peace out.
next week.